I'm back now. I'm back now. I'm
Yo,
back
what
now.
up? Yo,
Yo, leave
say
Dave alone, man. Yo, you messing with Dave,
that
man.
shit was
Yeah,
mad funny.
leave Dave.
Yo, cause you know what? Yo, shout out to my nigga Dave, man. That's my BFF. You know what I mean? Yo, but I
That's
would
my
have never
that's
noticed
my
it.
that's my that's my second big brother, man. Leave him, man.
I would
Leave
have never
Dave, man.
noticed it if he would have never said pause, cause I wasn't paying it no mind.
Yo,
And then I
Dave.
had to.
Yo, Dave. I got your back, man. I'm holding you down, man. I'm holding you down. Yo, Dave, what up, man? What up? Come on, I got you.
My
I
nigga said,
got you,
I
man.
am
Come
not in
on.
position right now. Whoa,
Yo,
pause, nigga.
yo,
Pause.
yo, bro, chill. Leave the bro, man. Leave the bro,
But yo,
man.
I wanted to
Yeah.
make I wanted to make a correction because I said something incorrect when I said Patriots won the Super Bowl in 2000. No, it was actually the Rams that won the Super Bowl in 2000. It wasn't the Patriots. So
And then in 2001, it wasn't them because
it was
them
the
Ravens won in
Ravens.
'01.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Ravens
yeah.
won.
Smacked your
And
Giants, by the way.
yeah, they did. They did. They did. But what have they done for us lately? Even the Giants. What the Giants done? Oh, yo, shout out to the Giants getting my man Abdul Carter.
I know we're not talking about the Giants, man.
And we got that boy, what's his name? Dart. We got my man, yo, that's an ill name. He gonna be throwing darts out there. That's an ill quarterback name. They already, yo, we already got a name for that. Cause get Russell Wilson the fuck up out of here. Get what's that other
Winston?
name? The other quarterback.
Winston?
Get
Now get them out
Jameis
of here.
Winston the fuck out of here. Get him
Wow.
out of here.
Wow.
Get him out of here. We
Wow.
got my man Dart in the building, and we got my man Abdul Carter going on the edge. We Giants is back, baby. Watch out for my G men. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Even though I got
done?
Cincinnati Red shit on, but
Yeah, you done?
yeah, that's baseball.
You done? Like we talking about basketball. I mean, yo, listen, man. Next what if, man? Next what
Yeah.
if?
But yeah, what if, if Drew Bledsoe didn't get hurt in 2000, would that have pioneered the greatest quarterback of all time, um, Brady?
Yeah.
The next what if? What if the 2007 Patriots won the Super Bowl? Now,
I
we
mean,
all remember that was the undefeated season of the New England Patriots.
yeah.
And I might add, the last game of the season, they played the Giants, who they eventually lost to in the Super Bowl.
It was a
But
tight
when I was watching
game.
that game and Giants almost won, I was like, Patriots do not want to see that team again. And Giants steamrolled into that playoffs after that loss, and they went and they just boop, 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 met the Patriots and beat them. But I mean, if you look at it, it didn't do nothing to Tom
Yeah, about to say
Brady's
that.
legacy.
He would have just still been the
He was still
greatest. I mean, that was
been the
it.
greatest,
Yeah. So it's like it
but he
ended up
would
happening that
just
way anyway.
right. I mean, he's still been the greatest, but that just would have been an added
Yeah.
notch on his resume.
Undefeated season.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just an added notch. That's really it. I mean, honestly, it ain't really too much to add to that. It's like,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah. But what if? What if they would have?
well, you know what? Hold on. If they did though, Eli Manning
Well, he would have won. He would have
and
won.
oh,
And
he's a bum. He's a
you
bum.
can't
Come on,
because of that. Remember, Brady got 7 rings,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Eli took 2 from him.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for
So
sure, for sure.
Eli technically is 2. He's undefeated against Tom Brady in Super Bowls. So that's one thing that no
And still a
Patriots fan
bum.
could
And still a
ever
bum
talk
though.
about. Listen, you're not a Patriots fan, bro.
Eli's a
No,
bum.
but he has 2. He's 2-0 against the GOAT quarterback of all time. He's 2-0 in the Super Bowl. You can't take that away from him, bro. You can't. Eli got 2 rings against the greatest quarterback ever to play the game. You can say whatever I even talk about Eli. I think he's dyslexic. he's just slow. You know, I'm not let me stop that because people get on you in the comments and be like, oh, you can't talk about that.
Yeah, you're bugging right now.
You
You're
know.
bugging right now.
You know,
You're wild.
but that's my quarterback. That was my quarterback when he played. But there's a lot of people that would attest to that too. But we're not going to talk about disabilities. You know, we are for people with
Yes.
disabilities. We're just joking. Ha ha. Joke. But he has 2 Super Bowl rings against the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. Regardless of what somebody got to say with him, regardless they say Eli's not a Hall of Famer, he could sit back in his chair and say, guess what? I'm 2-0 against Brady in the Super Bowl. And he's your GOAT. I'm 2-0 against him. He never beat me. That's a flex. If that's a flex, bro. I don't care what nobody say. You can't say, you can talk about the Giants and their woes and their recent memories and stuff like that. But as far as Super Bowls and how they won it and who they won it against, you can't say nothing about my G-Man, bro. My G-Man guy, they beat Tom Brady and the Patriots twice. 2-0. Eli Manning, 2-0. And you can take that to the bank. That's my 2 cents and change on that.
Next, what if?
Ha! Yeah, you ain't got to say, right? I know you don't.
Next, what
Next,
if?
what if? What if Drazen Petrovic never passed away?
I will say, on that note, he was a special talent, and he would go head to head with Mike. He wasn't scared. I will say that I think that if he didn't pass away, with him, Kenny Anderson, Derek Coleman, they was building something nice in Jersey. I think they would have been a formidable team for especially during that time when Mike left the game. I would have liked to see, because I think that, they could have definitely did something with Orlando and stuff like that. And it has, all these other, even the Knicks, like how these other teams broke through in them 2 years when Mike was gone. I think they would have been a nice team in the mix. Like, I'm not saying that they would have been the greatest team, but with Petrovic, Kenny Anderson, Derek Coleman, and what they had, Nets had a nice little team. I would have liked to see that. I think they would have been a formidable team in the period when Mike was out, and to stop something. Yeah.
Yeah, because people don't forget, but if you know Drazen, he started off, in EuroLeague, then he came and
To the
played for
Blazers.
Portland Trail Blazers.
Yeah.
Actually made it to the finals against the Pistons.
And they didn't
even though he wasn't
even use him.
Yeah, they didn't use him. Like, you had a star on the bench that they didn't even know until he went to Jersey. It's like, oh fuck, we had this nigga over here. The fuck, So that just goes, to a player getting that opportunity to shine and showing people what you could do. The NBA missed out on that one, right? Because we talked about Len Bias, passed away before he got into the league. But this was a guy who was actually in the league, who was ascending in the league, then, tragically passed away.
Yes.
So at least we got to see what he could do in the league. So, that really like pioneered, Euro players. Like, yo, these guys could come over here. And he was really the pioneer of that, right? If you look at Drazen Petrovic, he was really like that guy.
He definitely reached a certain point, but to be fair, when you got the people like Vlade Divac was a teammate of his. It's a documentary with him and Divac. Because Divac, I think, made it to the NBA before him. Because remember, Divac played with Magic Johnson.
Yeah, he played Magic Johnson. But you don't look at Divac in the same light you look at Drazen Petrovic, though. Right? Because Drazen Petrovic was ascending to be a superstar. Vlade Divac was a role player.
I'm just saying, as far as you saying being a pioneer, we can't label that because he's not the first. And Vlade Divac played with Magic Johnson. Well, that's why I'm just trying to stand on facts with the verbiage used. That's all. Not to say that Divac was the player that Petrovic was, but remember, Divac was playing with Magic Johnson, winning chips. So,
he was. But
it's one of those things where it's
because how now what they look at, they say that the world has caught up to the NBA players, and you got all the
Lando, what up? I see you in there, Lando. What up? What up?
What up, Orlando? And you got all the international players making headway now, winning MVP awards. So when we look at that, it had to be a player to pioneer that as far as like, yo, this guy is nice and he's not
Okay.
from
Yeah.
America,
Yeah.
right? That's Drazen Petrovic. When you
Okay.
look at it, you're
Okay.
like, yo,
Okay.
this nigga
That's
was giving
that's
Mike
fair.
fits and
Yeah.
he's not from here, you
Yeah.
know?
That's fair.
So,
That's
like,
fair. That's
yo,
fair.
this guy in that pine, then you got the cool coaches after that and stuff like that. Then the Euro players started getting more nicer, ascending more, and now the international players is taking over the league. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's technically from Canada, you know,
Yeah.
right? So he's about to win the MVP award, right?
Yeah.
So international players is here now. But when you look at Drazen Petrovic being an international player
Yeah.
and giving the NBA fits in the 90s, like, yo, we
Mhm.
got to look at these international guys because they over here balling, you know, and that's when you got pioneer guys like Luka.
Yeah.
If you look at Luka
Yeah.
Doncic at an early age over there killing dudes overseas. You
Yeah.
know, he even said the
Yeah.
NBA game was easier than the Euro game, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Yep.
you know, so I think that Drazen Petrovic, man, life cut too short, man. He was just getting there. They just put a good team around him. Kenny DC, him, like, oh my gosh, they would have been formidable for Mike in the East because even Mike and him said, like, yeah, that boy, nice. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's a
Yeah.
huge what if, man. Rest in peace of Drazen Petrovic, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
damn, man.
Definitely.
Damn, man. We NBA missed out on that one. We missed out on a Drazen Petrovic, Michael Jordan Eastern Conference Finals matchup.
Yeah.
Because that was
Yeah.
bound to happen. It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
We missed out on that, man. Salute to Drazen.
Mhm. Yeah.
Next, what if? What if Cavs don't come back from that 3-1 deficit? Mind you, Cavs was the only team in NBA history
Mhm.
to come back from a finals 3-1 deficit. Honestly, it hasn't even been done in the playoffs, but
It
this
has.
was done in
It has. Houston came back on Charles Barkley and them twice, being down 3-1 in
yeah, you're
94 and
right.
95.
My bad. You're right. In finals history, no team in finals history has ever came back from a 3-1 deficit.
Yeah.
So that what if is what if the Cavs had never came back from that 3-1 deficit. Mind you, that was the 73 and 9 win Warriors team who was, you know, on track to be the greatest team of all time. Now,
Yeah.
if they would have won that series, that
It-
you had to put that team over the Chicago Bulls team. If they would
yeah.
have won,
Just
they,
from that standpoint, I mean, yeah.
you would have had to put that team over the Chicago Bulls team. So the impact of that, right? And this is where Bron self-proclaimed himself the greatest player of all time after he did that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, man, fuck out of here, nigga. But it was monumental nevertheless because no team in NBA
for
final
sure.
history have done that. So what if the Cavs never came back? What's your 2 cents on that? What if they would have never came back?
I mean, it definitely would have been hurt for LeBron legacy because that's his biggest ring. So I feel like him without that, I mean, it lessens that GOAT discussion even more for him. But then if they don't, I feel like that Warriors team gets the proper just due for what they did, being 73-9. But you can't go down as the greatest team without that chip. So I look at it like, and that boosts Steph Curry legacy even more. So I feel like LeBron's legacy goes down a bit and Steph Curry's goes up more. So I just feel like, you know, it would have basically boosted whoever wins gets boosted. That's how I see it. You know, from that Warriors team and, you know, individually for Curry and Bron. Yeah, that's how I look at that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You know, again, 73-9, and then winning the NBA championship like the Chicago Bulls model was. It didn't mean a thing without the ring, right? And I think that should have been the Golden State mantra going into that playoffs too, because I think that would have gave them an extra boost to be like, yo, in the back of their mind, like, we can't lose, because if we lose, it don't mean a fucking thing, right? Because you look at it, the record don't mean a thing. Yeah, yeah, that won
It doesn't.
73-9, but
Yeah.
Ja didn't win the ring. So
Yeah.
motherfuckers don't even talk about it no more.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah. It's like a forgotten about team.
yeah, because you didn't win the ring, right? So
Yep.
that would have been
Yep.
huge and that would have gave Steph 5 as opposed to 4. No, because
Yeah.
Steph got 4. Yes, that would have gave Steph 5 as opposed to 4. And then, like you said, LeBron's legacy. Because if you look at it, right, if you look at, and we comparing the GOAT, right, between Braun and Mike. When Mike had his time, nobody won, bro. Nobody won chips. When it was Mike's time, we're not talking about the early Mikes when he was getting into the playoffs and losing. We're talking about when Mike started winning in the 90s all the way into 96's, 90s era.
Yeah.
That when Mike was 3-peating, nobody was winning unless Mike retired. And then Houston got 2 sneaky ones. Mike come back and win 3 more. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my arguments that I put into the GOAT debate as well, because Steph Curry got 4 on you, bro. Tim Duncan, even though he was on his way out, he got 2 on you. Dirk
1.
Nowitzki.
Oh yeah, you're right. He did get
got
2.
two on
But
him.
one was a young Bron though.
It was young Braun, yeah, but we just talking about in terms of players getting on Braun.
Okay.
Right? We give him a pass on that. It was young Braun.
Okay.
Dirk Nowitzki got 1 on you. And you look at the people that was on that team. Dirk Nowitzki got 1 on you, with Jason Terry being a guy considered to have been stopping you on defense. Jason Terry? Just imagine if Jason Terry was guarding Mike or Kobe.
Yeah.
All Kobe stoppers, Kobe stopper? What's the guy named from Portland?
Ruben Patterson.
Ruben Patterson. Kobe was torching Ruben.
Yeah.
Kobe stopper. And this is one of my arguments that I put out there with LeBron as far as the GOAT. People got rings on you, bro. They got rings on Bron. So if they would have won, that was a great feat, right? No team ever did that. Came back from 3-1 in the finals to win a championship. That was the biggest, like you said, the biggest ring for LeBron James. I just think that in terms of that GOAT debate, it's too much. You know how they say X's and O's. There's too much X's on Bron's resume for you to be in that GOAT. There's not a lot of X's on Mike's resume.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of X's. You will never hear Mike talk about not taking the last shot or putting the team on or being willing to take that. That's a whole debate in itself. But I just believe if Cavs don't win that, LeBron legacy definitely would be tarnished. That would have gave Curry 5, and you gotta look at Curry being the greater player in the era. If he got 5 rings over Bron.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Last one. And shout out to Drex. Was it? No. Sajiro, he had pointed this out. He was like, if Kawhi Leonard would have been healthy, he would have been the second. And you played the music on him. You played the whoa on him. So I was like, yo.
You might get it played on you the way you talking.
Nah, I gotta bring it up because it's factual, bro.
Okay.
It's factual. Let me go here.
Hold on.
Kawhi Leonard never played a full 82 game season. That's crazy. He's been in the league for let me see what he said. 14 seasons. 14 seasons and never played a full 82 games. He played let me see. He played 60 or fewer games in 7. 60 or fewer games in 7 of his 14 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
The man only played 733 games in his entire 14-year NBA career. Now, somebody could break down the math. I don't feel like breaking the math. Like how much equivalent is that a season worth 2 seasons? Because it's 82 games.
It's like
82. Let me see. I'm bad at math, but that's a whole lot of fucking games. So just imagine.
It is. It is.
given Kawhi Leonard's resume
Okay.
currently, right?
Okay.
He's two-time NBA. Let me see, two-time NBA champion, being named to the NBA All-Star team 6 times. A slew of other accolades. I don't want to read all, but we know who Kawhi Leonard is. He's that guy.
Yeah.
I gotta agree with Sajero. If Kawhi Leonard played all his games, now if Kawhi Leonard wins a chip this year, I think this will negate him missing all these games because the way that he would have to win it because
Okay.
his seeding and who he had to play, and currently the odds against him. Even though I just checked some odds, they actually got Clippers ahead, I think 3 points in odds over the Celtics to win the NBA championship. So people are really starting to look at Clippers as a team. But I think if you give Kawhi all those games back, yeah, I gotta agree with Sajero that he will be the second greatest small forward to play the game. You have to give it to him, bro. You can't give it to him now because he missed a lot of games. But Kawhi is that guy, bro. When he's healthy, he's that guy. my man warned me.
Y'all be getting too hype, yo. Y'all be getting too hype. I'm like, yo, I gotta have, messing with y'all. I gotta have that on standby. Cause yo, don't get me wrong, Kawhi is dope, but he's not Larry Bird, man. All right?
Huh?
He's not Larry Bird. Like, we keep talking about the second best power small forward. Anyone bring this dog? You want to bring the dog?
Yo, Luck. We got Lucky in the building.
Yo, Luck.
Lucky in the building.
Yo, Luck. What up? Luck. You like this song?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, Lucky, you like that?
Listen, man. I mean, it's proven. And you know what's crazy? When Miami was playing Spurs, I think it was when they won that first chip. Maybe it was but when they played the Spurs, I don't know if it was the first time they played them or because they played them 3 times. Braun played them 3 times. And there was a clip when Kawhi was checking into the game.
And LeBron got a fit. Yeah, he had 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 a fit.
So you got LeBron James doing it like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kawhi.
He had a fit. I mean, he had a fit, but, I mean,
He's that dude, bro. Kawhi's that dude.
He's nice. He's nice, but we can't. He's been injured, so it is what it is. Man, he's nice. If you get a ring this year, he might boost up to like 3rd, but he ain't no Larry Bird. Gotta relax.
Nah, he ain't no Larry Bird, but
hey, so how he gonna be second? How he gonna be second if Larry Bird is you got Braun and then how's he being second?
Right, because we don't consider him Larry Bird because of the amount of games that he missed.
Nah, he
right?
did.
So
it's not Larry Bird.
He doesn't have the games behind him and enough time on the court for us to have ever seen the full Kawhi Leonard. We all know what Kawhi Leonard is when he's healthy. The boy wins chips.
So hold on. Is he better than Durant? Would he be better than Durant?
And we missed out on that. I'm
just saying, would he be better than Durant? No, if he would have won if he win the chip though. You talking about he'd be second if he win a chip this year, and you just said that. So that means he could be better than Larry Bird and Durant?
No. I didn't say he would be second. I say it would negate a lot of things that was said about him if he wins the chip this year. I didn't say he would be second.
All right, cool.
Because he doesn't have enough, games played.
Okay. That's why you saved yourself from getting woed. You saved yourself.
This is a what if. Because what if he played all these games? He would be.
Yeah.
If he played all the games, he'd be atop of Durant. Yeah. But he's not because of the games he missed.
Okay.
But we missed out on that opportunity when Durant tore his Achilles in that finals. We missed that.
That would have been it.
That would have been it. Even though we all saw Toronto win a chip, but What if
Toronto would've
Durant was
lost, though.
there?
Yeah,
You
they
know,
would have
would
lost.
they have won the chip? That was the matchup that because
Yeah,
Kawhi was guarding
would've
Durant.
Yeah,
Kawhi
they
was
would have
guarding
lost.
Durant.
Though.
Huh?
The Raptors would have lost.
Maybe, but who knows? Because Kawhi was going to guard Durant. That was a matchup that the world missed out on, and we're
Yeah.
never going to see that matchup again.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
for sure.
you
For
know.
sure.
But yeah, man. So that was AJ's what
What
if?
if? All right.
That's my son,
Yeah.
your nephew.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
and
Yes,
my
sir,
dog
baby.
Lucky here. Luck, say what up to the camera, Luck. Say what up to the world, Luck. Luck,
Luck, man. Yo, Luck, don't test your luck, man.
say what up
Who winning
to the
tonight?
world,
The
Luck.
Knicks? Go Knicks, Luck? Because we about to get off this so I can watch that game.
Okay, let me check the score right now. So right now the Milwaukee Bucks is going at the Indiana Pacers. Indiana is up 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. 3-1.
Well, it's on a commercial now, so I don't know the score. But let me see. Alexa, who's winning between the Bucks and the Pacers?
The Bucks are beating the Pacers 101-99 with 53.1 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
101-99 with 53 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Okay, all right. Giannis trying to hold it down.
2-point game is on right now.
Nobody cares about them. I'm trying to see these Knicks, man. You heard me?
You heard me? But yo, man, this is episode 7.
Yes, sir.
7. 2 cents and change the podcast, man. It's your boy Seal McClay.
Boy Melly Mel, man.
And it's my dog. My dog, wait. My dog, Luckball. Lucky. And we out, baby. We out.
We out. All right, bro. All right.